Let's look at the bodies of the most famous and attractive male actors in the 20th century. Keanu Reeves, Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Depp, and Tom Cruise. Now let's look at the bodies of the most famous actors of today. There's a huge difference, right? All of a sudden, the most popular people on earth don't look like me or you, but something else. Someone enhanced. An unachievable version of us. Bigorexia is a word I learnt recently. It's essentially the unhealthy obsession with packing on weight and muscle to the point of doing stupid stuff such as injecting oil into your muscles. If you're new to the gym, you're going to want to set realistic expectations for what you're going to achieve in the next year or couple of years. Unfortunately, you won't look like Chris Evans after 6 months of training. Or even 5 years of training, to be honest. And if that has just made you feel sad, I don't blame you. Social media has made it so we can't feel good about making progress because it all appears so small compared to what we see online, whether it be a post about muscle or money or passing this stage of life and acquiring this. Every huge step in your life that took lots of effort is seemingly instantly trumped by someone online making your achievements look moderately impressive. Or even worse in today's society, not worthy of attention. We need to prevent this from happening to you, or we need to make sure you can overcome it if you're already in the midst of it. I'm not a doctor or some mental health expert. I just know the no bullshit mindset that helps me, and hopefully I can effectively pass this on to you and you can avoid this problem. There's an actor in the 1950s that changed a lot of the culture around what people found attractive and what people found desirable. So before this actor, the James Bonds were always quite slim. They were always quite sleek in their suits and whatnot. The main character was always well put together. The main character was always perfectly in shape. And then Marlon Brando came along. Marlon Brando was one of the first actors that presented a more rough and rugged look in his films. Often wearing a vest or not being completely put together. But the main thing was he had a lot more muscle than a lot of these actors were used to having. Now the funny thing about Marlon Brando, and this is why I bring it up, is back then he was viewed as almost too muscly to be an actor. He was outside of the norm. Obviously there was a lot of people who really liked him for it, especially women of the time. But his physique was viewed as very, very good. Now look at Marlon Brando's physique and then look at mine. My physique isn't that far off Marlon Brando's at all. But my physique, especially for an online presence, is mid. Like, I have a mid physique. Even though in my local area and in the gym, I know I have a very good body compared to the normal person. But compared to the people who you see online, mine's unnotable. So why is having unrealistic body standards a bad thing? Well, obviously it's terrible for your mental health, but I feel as though you already know that. So in terms of the gym, it will stop you from going, it will stop you being consistent, it will stop you from being able to see and appreciate your gains, and it will also increase your stress levels. I was actually in the gym a couple of weeks ago with my friend Callum, and he said to me like, bro, your arms are huge. And it's like, when I was really listening to him, I was like, yeah, to be fair, my arms are quite big, but I don't even see it anymore. I don't see it. Like, if I did this, like, my arms look big, but to you, and I know this, there's so many people who are bigger online. That's just the way it is. In the past, I've struggled with consistency, especially in the gym, but I do think that was partially at least because I had these expectations of what I could do, and then I was feeling like I was doing something wrong, and I didn't know what it was, even though I was doing things correctly, because I wasn't reaching the heights of these people that I was seeing online. These people who are often taking steroids, these people who often have someone cooking for them, a whole team of dietitians and nutritionists and supplements that I could never afford. So in a weird way, if you want to put on more muscle, it can actually benefit you to care less about putting on muscle. Comparison is the thief of joy, and there will always be someone bigger than you, there will always be someone leaner than you, stronger than you. And I would love to say stop comparing yourself to others, but I know it's not that easy. You can't just stop. That's not how it works. So instead I'm going to recommend a more healthy way of being able to compare yourself to others. Do not compare yourself to actors. Do not compare yourself to people who are athletes. These are people who do this professionally. They have no full-time job, well, apart from acting and apart from being an athlete. But putting on muscle is something they have time to do. You might be at school. You have 6 hours every weekday that you can't be in the gym. And then you have homework, and then you have walking there and walking back. It's going to be more difficult for you. especially considering your diet as well. So don't even bother comparing yourself to those people, because then you will never be happy with your gains. The people who you should be comparing yourself to, or at least the people who are the best for you to compare yourself to, is either your younger self or the people who are in the situation that you were in. For example, if you have a group of friends and you've been going to the gym for 3 months, do not compare yourself to the other athletes who have been doing it for years, perhaps in your school or in your work. Do not compare yourself to them. Compare yourself to the group that you started with and see how your physique has changed compared to theirs, because that is the only fair assessment. In addition to this as well, it is actually healthy to have friendly competition. Maybe start the gym with someone and then see how they're progressing, and then you can see, oh, he's got bigger arms than me, but I've got a bigger back than him. I should try and get bigger arms. Then he's going to do the same thing, and you're gradually going to make sure that you get bigger and you get more size. Now, this can be done in an unhealthy way. In a healthy way where you both say, oh, we have this bigger than one another, and you're perhaps beating me in this way, in this regard, but you can still assess where you started. That's a healthy competition. And if you're doing it to be attractive, you're trying to attract someone with your body, then you need to keep in mind that just because Chris Evans can be seen on a screen, it does not mean that all of a sudden girls only find Chris Evans attractive because of his body. That is an extremely naive point to make. People just all of a sudden don't find normal bodies unattractive. Do you really think that after millions of years of evolution, just all of a sudden, we don't find the normal body attractive and we find only the elite bodies attractive? That's just not how this works. And remember, if you're doing it for health, a lot of the other guys will be on steroids and you'll end up healthier than them in the long run. Don't even worry about it. That's all. Just wanted to get it off my chest. Thank you. Like a sub. Have a good one.